السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله. I just want, first of all, to thank you to give me the opportunity to be with you today. And really, I'm not here to teach you anything, but I'm here to share a thought and also to learn from you, because that's my main point to be here, because we learn more by listening than talking or speaking. And I think the manager, the one who is just like monitoring the session, hello, how much I go? Time when I should finish the presentation before I go to Q&A session and others. I try to make sure that I finish my presentation before the time. When I'm supposed to finish, the presentation.
Administrator, what's going on? You're not answering these questions. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
No, sir. I think the host is not communicating. Dr. Balogun. Dr. Balogun. Dr. Balogun. Brother Ismail. Yeah. The Sheikh is asking a question, but I think you are having a problem responding. He said how many hours, what's the time he has?
45 minutes. I can't hear you.
He said he has 45 minutes.
45, that's for only for presentation or for like,
I think that's for presentation, and then there will be question and answer.
I'm supposed to finish at 50. Is that correct?
50, you said 50 minutes?
No, to finish at 50 because it's 12:05. I should finish.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. And then we'll have questions after.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, I will start.
Bismillah.
I don't know, maybe someone mic is open there. It's just clear to know if they can gently mute themselves, because there is some
can
background
everybody
noise.
go on mute? Can everybody go on mute, please? And the host, can you mute everybody if you could? That's better.
Yes, I will mute everyone.
Okay. Bismillah.
Okay, inshallah. I'm here to like everyone knows that. Knows the topic is Islamic finance, wills, and estate planning, and we'll just be talking. Slide. Okay. Now we have four components. Big components in this presentation. The first is Islam and money, and the second. If I'm going very fast, please let me know. Sometimes I just speak very fast. I don't. Just let me know. And we have some key concept. Which is around Islamic finance, banking, and Islamic insurance, and we go from there. And we have the second one. The third is Islamic wills and Islamic estate planning. I'm trying, but I'm very looking forward regarding when it comes to the last point, which is not here, but after that, which is the discussion part of the questioning, because I think that when the main thing, we're trying to make it simple, to have like the concept simple, but when it comes there, I will know like what will be more than people will be interested in, and we can elaborate more on those things. The presentation is just to give broad idea about things, and from there we can try to, to have a discussion regarding those topics. But before that, this is just brief like description about me, just brief description about me. But I'm not here to talk about myself. I think many have been here, not the first time. I will just skip this one. And let's go to the next one, which I think is quite important. And I will just love if we can, gently just have a question. We have a question. It's going to take around 10 minutes. I think a lot bit. But we really would want to know, like, regarding what we say about Islamic finance. There's some basic question there, and to know, because we're in process to know, to assess, the reach of Islamic finance and Islamic will in the UK. And based on that, we see what the problem are, what should be the best tool to just address those issues. We are just is a talk, but at the same time, we're trying to do that at the same time to know how we should focus on what is the problem, what are misconceptions, what are the shortages, and to try where are the gaps. And if you don't mind, I will just share the screen, the barcode here. I think I should have 1 second. Only the barcode will be. I think I should supposed to. One second. I see I haven't opened the barcode yet. Okay, I think it should be here somewhere here. We'll just open this barcode. Maybe that would be, can you see the screen or not? Can we still see the presentation? Yeah, I think everyone can see the barcode.
We can see the barcode now.
Yeah, I can just put the barcode there, and we'll just also put the. Okay, if you can gently, please, I will just really appreciate if you can just participate in that survey. It's going to take 10 minutes. I will also put the link there in case if someone the barcode is not working, can just take the link.
Where's the link?
I'll put it there in the bar now. I just wanna figure out how to put it there. Okay, you just come in.
Can you put the link in the chat?
Okay, yeah, I just wanna put the link there. Let's copy it. Put in the chat now. Come on, show myself learning this thing.
That's okay.
Okay, why this chat room now? One. Chat, yeah. Chat is just there.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're there now. Thanks.
Yeah. I just put them. Go back to.
So what do you want us to do? Is this a survey?
In the survey, yeah.
Okay, we should fill it. Should we fill it in now or later? After
now, yeah. I have just around 7 to 10 minutes to fill it now, and then we can progress. Yeah.
Okay, so participating in
time. Yeah, I just put on mute and we can just have our time. From here, now we just Islam and money. That's the first one. Okay, the question is here: is anyone have anything to just demonstrate that in Islam, to show that money is important in Islam? Can anyone shout with to just give an example to say that, which mention that money is important in Islam? So I want to be a bit interactive and have things done that is easier than just listening. Sometimes it's boring. Anyone, person can shout. You can just give you to just anything to show that Islam, money is important in Islam. No answer? I hope you can hear me.
What's the question? Yes, well, we can hear you. Sorry, we didn't hear the question clearly.
I say the question is anything an example to just illustrate that money is important in Islam. To just say show that money is important. Is money important in Islam or not? If yes, okay, what we can just, if you have an example to just demonstrate that in Islam, to say that money is important, or wealth or fortune, anything you just can name it, or material resources, financial resources. Is the question clear?
Money is important because it's a means of transacting business, unless you want to go back to trade by barter. You can't get by in the world now without money.
Okay, good. But Islamically, can you just, yeah, for sure in business and yeah, no, but Islamically, there anything in Islam to mention that money is important, you have to look after it. You have to do this in any example. If someone can just elaborate on that.
Paying zakat.
Paying zakat, yeah, that big one. That means because it's purely financial obligation. Yeah. Anything else?
From examples from the companions, they were engaged in business activities, and some of them were entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, and Abu Bakr was on the top. Anything? The last one?
You can give out loan, can't you, to other fellow Muslims?
Can give loan. Said, okay, loan, yeah, because Islam encourages to give loan. Yeah, that one, because the hadith just mentioned that giving loan twice is is equal than just give that money for sadaqah. Loan is half of sadaqah, literally. Yeah, okay, that all there, good example. That have some few here. In Islam we have Islam came, as Imam Juwaini just mentioned, to protect 5 big things, to achieve 5 big aims. And those aims, one of them is related to money. Islam came to protect religion, which is Islam, to protect life, intellect, progeny, or lineage, and to protect property or wealth. That one of it, to show that Islam just cares about money. And in Quran, Allah mentioned that do not give your money or your wealth or your property to the weak-minded people. The money which Allah has made is a mean of sustenance for you. That means money is a mean of sustenance. This is mentioned in Quran. And in Islam, we have financial obligations. And first, you have to take care of yourself, your family, and other financial obligations, which one money is important. And we see the whole, when you go to the fiqh, the Islamic jurisprudence, you will see that, the bigger chapter dedicated to, to money, business transaction is very huge. That even there is a very big, role in Islamic jurisprudence. They say, حق الله مبني على المسامحة، حق الخلق مبني على المشاحة. It means the right of Allah is based on tolerance. That means Allah can tolerate his right all the time. What the right of people is based on justice. It's not just tolerance there. You just look out for justice. And we have two of the pillar of Islam. It's mentioned about zakat is one of them, and Hajj is also both physical and financial. And one of the characteristics of the true believer is related to money. When Allah just in the beginning of the chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah mentioned هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. He said, like, those are the people who just believe in the unseen and they perform their prayer and they give out what they spend, what we have provided for them. That means one of the true characteristics is related to money. And we know in the day of judgment, the day of reckoning, there are many questioning stations. And one of those questioning stations is related to money. Will be questioned about how you make your money and how you spend it. And we know that we mentioned that money is important. But we have some misconceptions when it comes to money. One of them, you should know that Abu Bakr is the best in this Ummah after the Prophet ﷺ. Even not, some scholars say he's not. He's the best of every creation after the Prophet and the messengers. After Abu Bakr comes to the first rank, but he's a rich man. He wasn't poor. He was a very rich man. And you know, like the hadith which mentioned the 10 of the companions will go to paradise, 6 of them are rich, they are not poor. And we heard also the story of the true believer. The believer is a poor believer who just ran to the Prophet ﷺ. Just once the Prophet said, Prophet, we pray, like, okay, those of people who have wealth, they just compete us and something we cannot compete them because they pray, we pray. We fast, they fast, but they have money. They can just spend that money to do good deed, but we cannot. My Prophet said, don't you know that Allah has given you something which can compensate those, the fortune for you? Say, what is that? The Prophet gave you some zikr. So in the tasbih, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah. All these are sadaqah for you. That was the secret. They keep it between them and just spread out. And the rich people know it. They were used to do the same thing. Now they just write back to prophets again. The prophet say, those rich people don't discover our secret. We want something else. The prophet says, this is a bounty of Allah. Allah will give it to whoever Allah wants. That's which means money is a bounty. At the end, is something is a favor, a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one day the Prophet just sent Amr ibn As on one of the battle, and he just told him that he will go to that battle, and I think you will win. When you win, you brought home many things. You'll be rich. You have some materialistic thing. He said, okay, but I didn't become a Muslim because of money, because of that materialistic or financial gain. For a professor said, don't you know that a good money in the hand of a righteous person is a blessing? We know that. And the last one, when it comes to the Prophet Sulaiman, alayhi salam, when he had just kingship and money and wealth and authority and all this stuff, what he said? He said, ذَلِكَ مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي لِيَبْلُوَنِي أَشْكُرَ أَمْ أَكْفُرُ. This is a blessing, a bounty from Allah to test me if I will be thankful or I will be thankful or thankful. Which means money in Islam is not just it means to, okay, superiority, to show that you're better than other people. It's just a test. Like being a pro is a test too. And all those tests have their way to just win the game. And to go more, we should know sometimes it's difficult to say when someone's like, okay, before we come to this world, our provision has been predetermined. It's all there. You cannot. But you say, okay, that's why Allah will never question anyone why he didn't become a billionaire or a millionaire or don't have that money. Because it's not in our hand, literally. What is in our hand? How we make that money and how we spend it. Because in the film Hadith, the Prophet said, when he was speaking about the creation of human being, he said when it reached 4 months, Allah will send an angel, and the angel will be responsible to write 4 things about him. And one of them is how much he's gonna he's gonna earn in this earth. This is there. And I just know one time, like my mother just told me, like, he said in the village, there are some people, they will know if someone will pass because they don't have all these, I know, technology and like, yeah, but they say, okay, they would know if someone will pass away or not. They ask how they can know that. They say, no, they will look at the person because they know, because they understood, even if they didn't go to school and university, they know that your provision in this life is predetermined. Because when someone, it's not for every people, of some people, when their time comes, whatever you put in their mouth, they will throw it out. It never goes into their stomach. Because that means the provision in this world has ended. When it's ended, that means time to go. And also in Islam, we are not always responsible for the outcomes. We're responsible for the mean, how we achieve those outcomes. And money has to be invested in Islam, because not investing money, they call it iktinas. You just treasure the money, which is against the spirit of Islam, because that even Umar used to say to people, invest, work with the money of the orphan, because regarding that, even that of people say zakat is a direct tax and direct punishment for the people who do not. If you have more, that's true, but if you don't invest it, that's gonna eat it out. And that of part of the thing. And just we have some core beliefs in Islam. We should know as Muslims, because we all sometimes mention Lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. It belongs to Allah, whatever in the earth and in the heaven and the earth. But the true meaning, it means that Allah is the true owner of everything, not we. Because, okay, let's assume someone say, okay, I've created myself. Okay, we know Islam, that's not true. But okay, but did we come? Does anyone come with anything in this world? Nothing. That anyone will live with anything? Nothing. Which means you are not an agent. We are trusted with this. All the mean we have, the time, the life, everything. Like, we're just responsible for a short period of time. And if that's the thing, that means we are human beings, we are like agent. When you are an agent, we should act based on the instruction of the true owner, who is Allah. That's why even your kid, you just send them to the shop. Say, okay, go and buy. Okay, this £1 is for you, but go and buy. Like, don't think water with it. You just go there, you changes his mind, and buy something else. Sometimes you get angry. They don't tell you that go and buy chocolate. Just buy water. You say, no, but it's my money. Yes, it's not, but I gave it to you. It's mean like, yes, that if this is between you and your kid, like what you come to Allah say, okay, this is your money, I gave it to you. This is the resource you got, but you should better spend it in the way. But we are free to spend it whatever we want. But at the end, we'll be questioned about that. Will be responsible between you are responsible, you have ability to respond. And we should know that the rules of Allah is the most just. Because if we ask, we say, okay, we will give, okay, if we ask poor people to just make a rule for the life, for the world, it's highly likely that we'll make a rule, that the poor will make a rule which will favor them, both in their favor, because we have that tendency of biasness as human beings. If you ask the same time, say the rich to make a rule, they will make a rule which will protect them and favor them. This, is general human tendencies. But because Allah is above all of those, Allah doesn't need those resources. He's the creator, he's the source of all this. He doesn't need, when he put a rule in place, that means that rule is the more just. Even it means it may go against yourself, it may go against us, but we are abiding to follow. That's why Allah say, فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ. Be righteous as you have been commanded. Not the way you want, no, as you have been commanded. That means we don't do as Muslims, okay, what we want is good for you, but we look at the true owner. If we say Allah is a true owner, we have to make sure that whatever we're using others, these resources, is just will be used in the way Allah wants, and will be able to just answer those questions at the day of judgment. Or have you given you this and that? How will we do with it? We just have to look at all the thing. And I just mentioned that we know that everyone will be held accountable of how we make our money, and we made it, and how we spend it. This is just general rules to know, understand that when it comes to Islam, when it comes to money and business, it's that in Islam, but we have to have some core belief at the beginning to make sure that, but because without that belief, even we have the belief, but we have that true belief, we say, okay, sometimes we take some paths which will lead us, sometimes we have the experience that, okay, you know, Allah wants you to do this, but you do the opposite. And at the end, you figure out that what Allah has said, it was the one to protect in the first place, just we regret sometimes that we have tawbah, we have sin. Sin mean like, I mean, missing the target. And etymologically, the word sin means that, missing the target. And which means sometimes, okay, what Allah has said, okay, it's what the rule was here to protect me in the first place. And yeah, and from here, you just have some main principle in Islam. We know the prohibition of riba, maybe when it comes, riba is a complex thing because it's not like said only one, because this Quran speaks about riba, but never define what riba is. Even the Prophet ﷺ did not give a last definition of riba. There's some riba in that time, the time of the Prophet, and some of them is truly riba, like with conscious agreement between all the scholars. And the conscience, they all know that this is not true, but this is when you give a loan, any type of loan. When we extend it before or time of maturity comes, we just have to extend it. That is haram. We all know that. Okay, that one thing. But the other type of riba, which is not, but maybe we can have time to debate that more in question and answer. I mean, but riba is a very, very huge topic, is very big, but we know some of them is like every scholar says this is a riba. But some of them, there's some disagreement. That's why you see some scholars, okay, this is riba, this is not based on the school of thought and based on the what we follow. We do know the prohibition of gharar. Gharar is just excessive uncertainty, just like gambling. The gambling is part of that. And we see that's the main cause when it comes to the prohibition of insurance. And Islam said because there are that excessive uncertainty and gambling. We know in Islam we cannot sell, I mean, when we make any transaction, both things have to be defined. I should know how much I'm paying, and I should know for sure what I'm getting. If one of those things is not determined, and the transaction becomes invalid, because it's highly likely it's going to be like cheating or like inequality or injustice in that trade. It means you cannot say, okay, can you buy what's in my pocket with £10? We can't say that. Why? Because I don't know what's in your pocket. It may worth £10, it may worth less, it depends. But at least I have to make sure that what I'm getting in the return. And it's okay in Islam, you cannot, trade what you do not own. If you don't own something, yeah, you have like commission, you can make commission, that's something, but you cannot sell what you do not own. Or just maybe go. In Islam also, there are some type of, I will go here, I will go straight to that here. When Islam says something is haram, most likely most human we just think about is just the consumption level. Once alcohol is haram, cigarette is haram, drug is haram, and all the other substance or what is it's haram at all, we just look at the consumption level. That's the zero level degree of it. It's not. Normally, when Islam says something is haram, the haram started from the existence of that thing, from the production in the first place. If someone says alcohol is haram, it's not the consumption only is haram. The production itself is haram. Which means, but this is a collective, duty. It's a collective obligation. No single person can say, okay, unless you are a king, you have, exceptional power. But unless you don't have, you cannot say, okay, this alcohol is haram. It's a collective duty on Muslims. That's what the Fardu Kifaya is, a collective duty upon Muslims. But now, in that collective, if we fail collectively to just make it haram, now the individual, the responsibility comes. No, a single Muslim should not be part of that production process or the existing process. Should be part of that individual decision. But collectively, we can just ban it in first. But sometimes we cannot say, okay, let's say I have Islam, a small Muslim community. Say, okay, in our society here, alcohol cannot be produced. But we cannot say to other people, do not produce it. They can produce it, but now they come to the second level, which is the distribution. Okay, it's not produced, but it cannot be distributed either. That when if it's in the law, when they put anything against the law, you say, okay, like I'm producing it and distributing all and consuming, just to ban all these three levels, and even in normal, in the modern law. This is the second. And now the individual level on that is come when you say, okay, we failed collectively to make it haram, to make it illegal to produce that haram thing. But at the end, You shouldn't be part of the distribution level. That means distributing alcohol, like building, selling it, all this is part of distribution. I mean, a Muslim shouldn't be part of that process at all. Okay, and now we come to the 0 degree, the last level, which is the minimum one, which is a consumption. Now, okay, no one can force you to just buy alcohol or buy cigarette. Now that is the minimum level what you can do. That's the difference between us and the companion. They were doing Islam in the collective level, because in the collective level, it can protect everyone. Sometimes we are weak, sometimes Iman is not the way we want, but at the end, if we see that, okay, the Iman is not, but the society should come together to protect you, to say, okay, even if you want sometimes, you have tendency to do it, you have weak Iman, but we don't produce it, we do not allow you to have it in the first place. When where the collective come to protect the individual, the society. And okay, that's just type of prohibited wealth. Here, the wealth is just, if it comes from any source of haram, it's become haram. That's, resource or anything. Let's put the resource is haram or the wealth. Okay, now you may have some halal money. When it's spend it in haram, that haram substance become haram for you. Okay, now which is more trickier is just when you have haram money, whenever you just spend it and anything, even halal, is become haram for you. You have like haram money. When you spend it on like car, food, drink, anything become haram. Even in masjid, you don't get benefit of it at all because the source is haram. Allah is, first, Allah is pure, and it doesn't accept but pure. And the last one is when you make money, okay, without working for it, unless someone give it to you, but you didn't work. Let's say we are in a time base, because Islam, the rule is not only for no one, it's just how to protect everyone, and it's just the most just rule you can have. Because no one can manipulate Allah or just do something to just fool Allah. Subhanallah, but we cannot. If you want, if you have any time-based work, if you have to work 8 hours or 7 hours, 10 hours, depend. It's not when the work is done by the achievement, no, but it's a time-based one. When you just don't work your work and that single time you just spend it on some personal thing, that source of money become, even the portion of it become haram for you. And we know what the consequences that will have on your family. That's when the hadith, Prophet ﷺ was mentioning that the guy who came just praying and just say, Allah say, how Allah he was filled with haram and his clothes is haram, how Allah can accept, his prayer. And we just know that hadith, even that when we say the time of the companion, the female, the Sahaba, Sahabiyah, the woman, will say to the husband when they go out money, so, please, just do not feed us anything haram. Just bring haram home. If you don't have haram, come. We can just stand hunger, but we cannot stand in hellfire. Because that hadith, the Prophet mentioned that. And to see that, Islam, because it is to protect everybody, and Islam is the mercy for everybody. It depends who is. It doesn't. Regardless of that person is, you're Muslim or non-Muslim, is here. The rule is not in favor of, but is in favor in long term, because it will make you avoid the anger of Allah, the punishment of Allah. That's for us. But sometimes in the short term or short-term mind, when we are short-term minded, we say, okay, maybe that rule is not, because it just prevent me to do one and X, Y, Z. Just need to look at the time. Okay, okay, I will go just through this key concept. And when it comes to the definition of Islamic economy, Islamic economy is just come to how we use our resources and term when it comes to Islam. I like it. There are many definitions regarding Islamic economics, but here I like this the most. By Asad Zamani said, is effort and struggle. That's why the more is important. Like Islamic economy is a struggle and an effort to make. It's not something easy because it's unconventional. When you just do something now, if it does, there's some stuff when you say about Islam, it will be people saying you're crazy. Don't think like that. No, everyone is done it. Is doing this. Is doing that. No, because it's a struggle and effort. Sometimes it's go against our own interests in the long term, and in the short term, not in the long term, but in the short term, we see that this rule will go against me, but you wouldn't know. But in the short term, this is there to protect everyone. It's just a struggle to implement the order of Allah when it comes to economic affairs and individual lives, communal life, and the level of Ummah. That's why I say this is what Islamic economy is there. What is why you cannot develop everything about it. And these are some figures about Islamic economy. The world is the big chunk is for Islamic finance. You have halal food and many. This is just, the top 15 country. And when it comes to the indicator, Islamic economic indicator in the world, Malaysia is always in the top. And we have the same here. I just want to make an analogy here. What I want, you see, okay, at the end, you see that, 15 and projected to 2016. The population of the Muslim, the population of the Muslim in the world. But we see now we are around 1/4 of the world population. When it comes to Islamic economy and Islamic finance, is less than 5%, which is we see the huge gap, which is there when it pertaining to that. The Islamic finance industrial economy is very, very small, and it does not represent, the number of Muslims or the proportion of Muslims in the world. When it comes to Islamic finance, we all know that finance, okay, is just in the society. We have two types of agents. The first agent is people who have surplus money. They have more than they need. And the deficit agent, people who have less than they need. And they have less than they need. Now we have to make trade-off. Like we have to transfer those money from from the surplus agent to the deficit agent. But because we don't know each other, we don't have information, we don't trust each other, we need those banks and financial institutions to just come as an intermediary between these two parties. That's what they do, is just a role of intermediation, really. But now, how you just make money, just spend money, those intermediations have to be based on the way Allah wants. That's what when Islamic finance came in. The money should be like make and spend, manage money in the way based on Islam principle. That's what literally was just put it, like not an academic definition, but straightforward. This is how Islamic finance is about. This is the top 5 countries in the world of regard Islamic finance. And this is a big map of Islamic finance in the world. We see here we have like Malaysia, which is here, that's a big and darkest Saudi. We have Nigeria here, which is one of the big player now at the moment regarding Islamic finance. And you can see the darker, you see UK here, which is the central of Islamic finance in the West. And this is the top 15 country in term. But what I want, the analogy I want to make, you look at Malaysia first and you look at this here. This is what I want here, awareness, the sub-category awareness. They are the highest in awareness. That's why they're the first all the time. Because how we can implement something we do not know? It's very difficult to implement something we do not know. That's why what we're doing here at the moment is just awareness, to make Muslims aware of Islamic finance. How we should know, because what our mode of consumption, making money, should be part of our core belief, and that we're trying to make to improve. The more awareness we have, the more people we have to just participate in that industry. And this is a total asset of Islamic finance in the world is 4,000 billion. This is the number of financial institutions in the world. And this is some figure, and now that many, like 46 countries, have just trying to make a rule to just make Islamic finance in their country, that in their legislation. It's 46, and we have 880 educational provider, and we have just only 1,296 Sharia scholars. You see here, there are less scholars than the institutions. This is where the gap is. You know that, okay, that's if one scholar is sitting on the board of many Sharia board, and because we have that shortage, and this is for the young people. If they are young, this is one of the things that someone has just looked into it and just to see, because the gap is still there. And we can see that when it comes to halal banking, it's the same. The banking, say, because the financial institution, how they manage that money based on the principle of Islam. I will just go because the time is just, here. And this is takaful. Takaful is just the term given to the name of Islamic insurance. The takaful means solidarity or mutual commitment. They call that takaful, kafala or ta'awun. It's just or cooperation or mutual or solidarity. It comes from this Arabic word, but now insurance, because what the problem is insurance? We just mentioned before that insurance, not before that. We just mentioned that the rule of Allah is the most just. Let's say you just go, you have an insurance policy, you just pay a premium. Let's say 1,000 to insure your car. At the end, if something happened to you, you're gonna take, let's say you insure your car worth like 50,000 pounds. Now, if something happened to you, with details, but let's say that the insurance company gonna pay you like 50,000 pounds. Do we think that is just? When you pay 1,000 and get 50,000 in return, that gap 49,000 pounds, where you should come from? You didn't work for it. How you get it? Is that just? Okay, let's say the other way around. Let's say nothing happened to you. The insurance company just give the 1,000 pounds. Is that just? What they have done to just give that money? I know there's a big debate regarding Islamic insurance, but the way I look at it, at either way, someone gonna be like, someone gonna be like, oh, you're cheated somehow. Regardless, you say regarding what you are buying, really. That's why I mean, the big type. Okay, what you are buying really? The money I give you, what you are buying? Is it peace of mind, or is just you are making transaction when that's what Scott says, a riba in it. Okay, you give 1,000, but at the return you can get 10,000 more than what you were given, or sometimes you can get nothing at the end. It's not riba, but you get nothing. That's a cheat. I mean, type of you get cheated because you brought money for nothing you didn't get. This, but in Islamic finance, because Islam look at takaful, because we need insurance. I mean, that is the concept of insurance was there before Islam. It had to be there. But the way it's done, I mean, without the problem, someone say, okay, insurance is haram. No, we have to have insurance, because the Islam look at insurance as a way of solidarity, takaful, guarantee for the whole society. When something is there, because Islam look at takaful as insurance as charity. I mean, the society come together, or the group, or the community come together to just help each other in case of disaster. That's what Islam look at. This thing shouldn't be a way to make money. But now, when the way it is there is just purely business. I would just say the Islamic model, how it works, because in reality, no one is just insuring. Like if a company, the insurance company is not insuring no one. It's not, we are insuring each other, because at the end, the money that we give you, that money taken from other people, normally is not for they're giving the money. That's why it's very, very difficult to see those insurance companies. They will just, difficult for them to not make money, because they will just do the premium based on all this, actually like prediction and statistical models. They will just know how much rate, to charge you. But at the end, that money will be less, because the pool of money from different people, they will just keep the rest of it at the end. Islam says, no, this is not just. But in Islam, really, we are ensuring each other. That company become only the manager, the management, just keep the management side of that thing. But they will do that for a fee. Let's say a fee, now you take 50% or not say 20% of the total fund. And because of your management, you are managing the claim, giving money, assessment, all this stuff, and computing all the model, you just get 50% of it, and 20% of it. And at the end, you have to invest those amount of money. The investment, you take money, maybe it's just a fixed fees, or based on the earning of that money, you just kind of take some part of it. This is how Islam look at, the model should be. But it's difficult to have those, because it cannot make the same money, because it's based on the mutual guarantee from each other. That's why it's difficult to me. That's why there are less. Even is that the least segment in Islamic finance, Islamic economy, which then take off, because it's difficult. Difficult take off, because in that mind, because the mentality is different at all. That's why it's difficult. There are some of them takaful here. I've heard that there are 10 companies. I just read an article, but I tried to find it. I couldn't find anything takaful. It may be that someone may know about it. Can let me know. I would just be very interested to know if they're takaful. Sometimes it's there, but it's not in the consumer price, just make business to business market or between banks. I'm not sure about that. But when it comes to consumer, like car insurance, do you have a takaful for car insurance in the UK? I don't know. I know some people are trying to make something, but still now there's nothing come to play. But we have some challenges when it comes to Islamic finance. Some of them is lack of awareness. That's the big one. On all the survey, you see the lack of awareness is there. That's what we're trying to. This is what we're trying to address here, to just have that awareness, people to think about, okay, this is Islamic finance, part of Islam and core of Islam belief, but all we have something called misconception about Islamic finance. People saying, okay, the same thing, there's no difference. You see the interest rate here, the same interest. Yeah, it look like the same. But maybe when it comes to a discussion, because I say to people, the taste of halal chicken and non halal chicken is not different. It's the same thing. There's no difference. But the difference comes with the way, the process they have been through. That's what makes it halal and non-halal. It's the same thing with Islamic finance, because this is halal chicken is very easy to understand. But we come to find it's complex. Those contracts are very, very complex. Someone may say, okay, the figures is the dump APR here, APR there. It's the same. The difference between Arayan and HSBC, the same banks, they're giving the same. Is the name of haram of Islam, but it's not true. But maybe we can discuss that further. I think I don't know if the management can just allow me some, I don't know, to finish at 1. I don't know if that's possible, because I think I'm being over time now. It's 3 minutes past. I don't know if I'm allowed, if the permission is granted. Otherwise, I will stop.